Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial how to model a chair for injection molding like this in Shapr3D. In this process lecture, I will show you how we will start by bringing in an STL model for reference, analyze it, and then create all the necessary sketches to build the individual building blocks you can see here. So with these building blocks, then I can create all the necessary full designs for this model. So this lecture will have a lot of shortcuts and tips and tricks. In addition, if you would like to see, there's also a version 2. I have an advanced model in here too. This file and everything will be shared with you, so please feel free to download it so you can analyze it, and we will start in a new scene with the STL model. So here we are inside a new design. First thing we can do is specify the unit system. Please feel free to use what you would like. In this lecture I will work with inches. Then I have all my snapping targets I will use turned on, and we can bring in now the STL model, which is shared with you. So I go to import files and then navigate to where the STL file is. Here what's very important is that you select inches as the unit system, because that is the unit system that was used when creating this model. Then the model will be imported and it is to scale. Very good. Before we continue, what really is a good piece of advice is try to take a look at what we see and don't get discouraged by the complexity of an object. What are the individual building blocks? So we have front leg, backrest, seating surface. Seating surface has a transition, rounded edges. That looks all pretty complicated. It's not really. The seating surface is more like a trapezoid. And then the rounded edges we do via a rounding command, the fillet, there's a transition. The transition we can build once we know the back leg. The front leg is pretty easy to do. And the backrest, while it looks really complicated, you will see is actually very, very easy to make. And that's in general really a very good process. I can give you as a tip, try to approach everything as small, tiny building blocks. And how can we take these building blocks and assemble them together into a bigger piece? Okay, so let's do that. We go to a side view, turn off the grid, go to sketch, and we would like to draw just a line somewhere like here. Move this point up so we can draw a line slightly rotated and aligned along the angle of the seating surface. Then in 3D view, we go to add construction plane and through edge at an angle. There we are. And this will be 90. Beautiful. We would like this plane to be smaller. Select and scale it down. This line here we have was drawn from the side, so we can delete the sketch. We don't need it anymore. Select the plane. Or select the plane here. There we are. And then with a finger, double tap onto it. Beautiful. Lower right corner, we can turn on the section view. Now we can very easily see everything that's on this plane. The backrest is gone. That's nice and clear. At this point now, let's turn on the grid again, because I would like to draw myself a nice center line. This line should move, so we'll select and lock it. The not the backrest. The seating surface is a very simple trapezoid shape. This is vertical and this is vertical, aligned. I can zoom in, move this a little bit closer. Very good. Try to move this point so it is aligned. Select this edge and slide it into position. Beautiful. In this exercise, because I really want to very quickly rebuild this design, I'm not going to be very specific with the dimensions. Sometimes it's actually also very good not to be too specific with dimensions in general, because it helps me more to be more creative. Okay, the sketch actually is done. It's very basic. That's all I need. I have down here a rounded edge, but this I will rather do via a fillet. So I can select the surface and then decide, well, okay, how far do I want to extrude this down? And I go to the bottom view, and when I extrude this, there now I can see at what point do I go through the design. So looks like 1/4 of an inch. Very good. Now, here we have this corner. I can select the corner with the pencil swipe, and look at that. There is my edge rounding. What's really nice about this process is, because this is just part of the geometry, I can always later select it. Very quickly adjust it. Or I can delete it and bring the fillet back. In my professional practice, I find it very easy to work with very simplified sketches. They're more manageable. And then I offload specific tasks like fillets to solid modeling, where it also seems to make more sense and is more fluid. Now, this sketch I can hide, you too, and we can think about how can I connect the front leg onto the bottom part. I would like to actually find a point where I have to create a circle so that the circle kind of like is nicely parallel or concentric to this arc. It's actually very easy to do. I select this edge, go to offset edge, drag this out a little bit, tap somewhere else, select this arc, tap somewhere else, and look at that. There is the center point. So here's my circle tool. I draw a new circle, select this arc, and delete. This point I will lock so it doesn't move anymore. And now I can scale this and explore how big of a dimension would I like this to be. I could quickly compare this with the sketch we brought in. It's a little bit smaller. That's okay. Very nice. So how can we now extrude a leg out? Before we do this, one warning. Just in general, when you extrude something out of a surface, it will add to it. When we extrude through it, it will cut. What I want is actually a leg that comes out around 17.75 inches, and then I tap on the small icon and say new body. Down here is an interesting tool that allows me to make this leg look very pointy or really wide. So maybe 0.25, maybe 0.5 for the angle. You see how this actually then creates the leg that's nice and skinny. Beautiful. What's the radius? 0.445. Well, I would like this, let's say, be exactly 0.5 or 0.4. How do I do this? Pretty easy. I can select this face with a finger, double tap. Look at that, there's actually already my center point. So I will draw here a new circle, 0.4, there we are, very good. And then this leg I will select and delete. And now I can select the two rings and create this leg via the loft command. Easy. Pretty good. I will also only build 50% of this chair. Why should I build each side when I could simply model half and then mirror the other half over? I'm saving 50% of the work. The next step we could work at is maybe taking a look at the back leg. Now that one looks very complicated. It really isn't. It's actually pretty simple. From the side, we can see this is aligned on one plane. And only from here is this slightly angled. Okay, so that means side view, maybe turn grid off, and I draw myself another big line. And ideally, I want this line to be centered through it, like this. Then close and add construction plane, again, through edge at an angle. There we are. This plane is also too big. 2, can scale this down. This line I can remove, select this plane, finger double tap, zoom out and turn on section view. Now I can see like 50% of my leg. And this is super useful because now I can simply draw myself a line and possibly a line here. This line I would like to be vertical. The other one I keep at an angle. When I zoom in, I try to center this. There we are. That is good. Maybe somewhere here. Okay. And yeah, the top one needs to go over a little bit. Let's say to there. How do I create now the transition that's in between? That's a nice S. That's a little bit stretched. And that is a typical CV curve task with tangency constraints. Before we do this, these two lines I don't want to change, so I lock them. Then I go to spline. Let me also close the folder so it's easier to see. And control type. And then I start drawing, push, push or press, and go back to the endpoint and release the pen. On purpose, I'm moving these points really far away. Check out what happens when I select this spline and this line and say tangent. Let's do this one more time. You see now this point is tangent to this line, and this point is tangent to this line. I cannot move actually this point left and right anymore. I can only move it along the tangency direction of the line this spline is connected to. When I bring these points closer, I get a sharper transition, and when I move these points further away, I get a smoother, bigger transition. I could now go ahead, select this line, unlock it, and when I move this around, you see even the point follows it. It's a super easy tool. And I'll lock this again. Very good. And there we are. Okay. Turn off the section view. Now we need to think about, well, how do we create now the leg? I will turn off this one more time and take a look at this radius. This is 0.4 inches for the radius. Okay, so with the leg model, the imported model gone, I can now create a circle right at the bottom. But how do I perfectly position that circle? Also here we can go to add, then construction plane, and then for the type, this is really important, perpendicular to edge at a point, because this is a line, this is not a curve. Otherwise I could use perpendicular to curve. Then click next, and then I could click on the line. You can also drag this up and down along the line. Done, very good. Select the construction plane, finger double tap. There is now the center point. That's perfect. So now I can precisely position this circle. 0.4. I will also lock this so it doesn't move. There we are. Beautiful. Make sure that construction plane, not construction plane, the section clipping is turned off. Then we can select the profile, select the line, select the spline, select the line, and say sweep. Beautiful. Now it swept actually this 0.4 inches circle along that path we created. I would like right here this to be a little bit thicker. How can we do this? Simple. Select this edge, go to scale, and then we can scale this up a little bit like this. Look at that. Really easy. And then it creates a nice transition from here to there. Very good. So I would say this is approvable. Okay, beautiful. At this point, it might make sense also to clean up a little bit our design. So here I move all this together into one folder. These I will move into one folder. And then let's give those some names. Bodies. And this we will call sketches and C-planes. The naming is just really arbitrarily. Just select what you feel comfortable with. Okay, very good. The next task is to take a look at how do we model this transition. This body I might have to hide so I can see this sketch again. Okay, but instead of hiding the whole folder, this body I would like to hide. Select the sketch with a finger double tap and then we turn on section view again. Now we can see actually the cross section of this leg. The next step is also important. These two lines I will select and lock so they don't move anymore. And then here is a nice center point. And I can create myself a circle. I will lock the circle and lock the radius. I make the circle on purpose a little bit smaller. It's easier to model, to make also then the transition. This is, while simply looking, a very complicated transition. I go to spline control and then draw from the circle 1 point onto the line 1 point and release the pen. One more time, draw from the circle, press on the line, release on the line. Now, because these points are already on the line, I have actually a tangency created that this spline has a G1 transition to this line, but not really yet to the circle. There, spline and circle, tangency, spline and circle, tangency, beautiful. Now if I select this point, you see it runs nicely across, and then this point will follow. And if I move this point, then the endpoint adjusts too. So this is a very easy way to create a quite nice looking transition. We can make this bigger to make this nice and smooth. There, or give this more material. It should be nice and strong. Very good. This looks pretty good. No, I will turn this off. I will hide this, and then these two I would like to extrude down. There's my table surface. We would like to match those. This is 0.25. Select this. 0.25. There we are. Very good. And let's fuse them together. So I double clicked every object, union, and keep originals off. They can be fused together. And nicely you see now this is a clean face. We don't have the edges anymore. Very good. Yeah, that's a good building block. There. Okay, so since we actually worked on the seating surface, let's finish it. Right now, this would be very, very fragile. If we would sit down, this area might sooner or later break. So the back area we need to support, and also along the sides here, we need to have some sort of a support. And how do we do this? That's easy. We select, in this case now, the lower face. With a finger double tap. Then we go to offset edge. We can select single. I select here single edges, and I bring this in by 0.25. Okay, very nice. Then I will do the same also here. There and there. And I will go a little bit further in. Let's see, 0.5, 0.6. 0.6 is good. Okay. Then I will do one offset again. I have to hide actually now the lag. You see the lag is in my view. So I will hide all this. Very good. So this line and this line, this arc, offset, 0.25. Beautiful. Oh, same with this one. 0.25. Oh, this was too much. 0.25. There we are. It sticks over there a little bit, no problem. We will simply trim this away. There we are. Okay, so why did I actually do these extrusions? So everything in this area we will extrude down as a piece that's under it, a little bit more inset, and this will actually be an edge which we will extrude straight down. If I rotate my view and click on this, you see everything that's being selected. So we need to close the sketch. That's pretty easy. When I select here this sketch, I can draw a line to there. And let's see now. There we are. This is closed. And I will extrude this upwards, or actually in real life, this is going downwards 2 inches as a new body for the moment. The reason why I do a new body for this is if I later make a mistake, I can always go back to the original building pieces. So we have to do the same here too. I select all these profile segments. So this is open. Okay. That means I will need to have somewhere also there the sketch closed. Okay, so we can actually do this right there. This will be inside the leg. There, very good. And there, 2 inches up. Very good. So let's take a look at everything all together. That's pretty good. I noticed one element here got missed. Also here, because I do not see the other base of the seating surface, I needed to draw in this one line. And I extrude this up 2 inches. And these two I join as one. It should be one. There we are. Pretty good. Nice. Do I like this? Is this too big? Is this too tall? This looks a little bit too tall. Okay, so what about 1 inch? This feels better, definitely strong enough. Okay, let's do the same here. 1 inch. When we zoom in here, nothing there really intersects in terms of creating internal cavities. So this flows together as one piece. This is good. Okay, so The last piece actually to build at this point is the backrest. There's my imported part. I will hide this for the moment, hide this. Okay, so how do we do the backrest? Also here, again, super easy. I have the grid turned off, very nice. Make a new line, same process. You see it's very, I don't want to say redundant, but the steps are actually, well, they're always the same. That's the beauty about 3D modeling. Once you started understanding how to see the geometry we have to build, it's pretty easy. This was the wrong axis I created. Through edge, add an angle. There we are. Okay, 90. Very good. Okay. So this is actually a plane I need when I double tap onto it, because here I need to create an ellipse. Turn on the grid, that's important, because we would like to create this ellipse perfectly centered on the sketch, maybe a little bit further down. Then we can scale this up a little bit smaller, and move this up a tick. When we zoom in more, we can actually snap along smaller increments. Really useful. And there we are. So that is good. Beautiful. This construction plane, tick to big. Move this down. This line we don't need. Actually, sorry, we still need it. Sorry, my fault. Now we would like to create actually a construction plane on there too. So construction plane. One more time, construction plane. And this should be perpendicular to edge here. There, centered. Very good. So on this construction plane, double tap. Turn this off. There now we can create the profile for our backrest, how we see this from the top. I will hide these elements so they're gone. We could create this via arcs. We could create this via CVs. There are various methods. I will use the CV control point curve. Start drawing, press, press, stop drawing, and then grid is turned on. I will create myself somewhere a nice line. That's a mirror line or symmetry line. Lock it. And I forgot to add one extra point. So number 1, 2, and 3. There. Then I can select these 2 points. Symmetry, this line. Go back. First point, last point. Symmetry here. And now, because I have added symmetries, I only have to focus on the left or the right side, and I know the other side follows it. You see? Very easy. It's a nice shortcut. This is maybe a little bit too pinched, a little bit too far in. This looks good. To make a parallel line, offset command. 0.4. Very good. We need to close this. There. And a line here. There. Beautiful. This imported STL model is now in my way, and I'm ready to select this. Extrude this down. Select this. Pull this up. Very good. Now we can take a look at the other elements we have. There we are. From the side, this is all very good. So when I select this and I cut through, now it's actually not wide enough. You see there, I'm a little bit too short. Oh dear, how do I fix the sketch? No, we don't need to fix the sketch. We simply move this a little bit half an inch, half an inch. Very good. The sketches are always just a helper. They don't necessarily have to perfectly always follow what we are doing, because that's the reason why we use the drawing module later to create drawings. Instead of subtract, go intersect. All these construction elements I created, I can now push into the sketches and C-planes folder, so it's gone. Okay, now I would like to style this a little bit more. When I select this edge, go to chamfer fillet and select to distance chamfer. It's a really nice tool. One distance, second distance, beautiful. So see, then this way we make a chamfer that has not a 45-degree angle. 0.3, 0.25, very good. We rest on this, so let's give this a very tiny fillet, 0.1, just round this a little bit, 0.05. Good, this looks good. Then this is my backrest. I put this into bodies, and we are getting ready to actually assemble everything. Okay, so I will do the following. I will select the whole body and make myself a copy. I said body, I meant the whole folder. There, very good. There's in your folders, bodies, and all the pieces inside. This leg, I would like to mirror over. So I can select the leg, more, mirror, along the y-axis. Okay, very good. And then both legs and the backrest I join together. Now, look at this. I simply select these two faces of what sticks out and delete it. And it's done. Isn't that nice? Now I can think about, so how do I style this one? This could be a little bit more of a tricky task. So you and you, I join together. In this case here, I will say keep original on. I will open this folder, and now I would need to see where are maybe the original two pieces. There. So this is the piece where I have these two elements moved together. The reason why I did this is now here I can select this edge and give this a nice rounding. 0.5, let's see what's possible, 0.4, very good. Actually, the other edge is being rounded too. I would need to see why this happens. Because this here is actually round. So when I round this edge, this one, it will follow here. So how could I maybe not do this? There's a little trick. One possibility would be, okay, I could join this actually to the leg, or from you, I will remove this leg. Let's try that out. Subtract, keep original, removed body. Yes. Hide this. Very good. Okay. We have some interesting fragments. And this is actually that piece. Okay, now this is much cleaner. So now I can select this and round this. Let's see, 0.4, does this work? Sometimes there are certain limits to the geometry we have. Okay, what happens if we pre-round the inside a little bit? 0.2. We give this a little bit more material. 0.5. There. See, this works better now. Okay, beautiful. So that works quite nice. this edge here, so this outer edge, I would like to chamfer. Let's see what we can do with the chamfer command. We bring this up a little bit, and then we bring this in a little bit. Also here, we might have to be careful about what is actually possible with the geometry we have. So looks like a 0.2 will work. 0.2. This is too much. 0.1. 0.3. You see there in the back at one point it will intersect a little bit. 0.4. Okay, this nicely lines up there. Very good. So we have all these other elements. This goes down to here. These are the two fragments for the seat and the back. There's my site. Very good. So I should be able now to select this, and join this together. Keep original. Yeah, I could keep original. Okay. So that is the finished piece. And now I would need to find where is the element there. I'm looking for, there's one tiny piece here I would like to delete. There, it's cleaned up. Very nice. Okay. We're actually getting ready. This actually, I do not understand how this individual piece there just happened. Give me 1 second. You see, I must have made actually somewhere a tiny mistake. So we'll go back. Ah, that's maybe how this happened. I, by accident, used this onto it. Okay, good. There we are. So you and you, these two, join together. Yes, this is better now. Yeah, that is what it is. You saw actually, this was a very good exercise why it is so useful to keep your individual building elements. Because if you make a mistake, like I did by accident, I fused onto this design a back piece that shouldn't be there, I can always go back and fix that issue. Here, another mirror command along this inner axis. There we are. Beautiful. Where's actually now my leg? Leg number 1, the front. Mirror along here. There we are. Sweet. Okay, so now all I need to do is you, and you join together. Keep originals. Yes, of course. And I hide everything else besides what I want. There we are. And this one now I move out. And I can call this final because that is the final. Now, one last tip. We have a lot of bodies here. It makes sense from the beginning to also then give your objects particular names, so it's a lot easier to read. So you don't have to turn on the visibility and off visibility for the objects like I did. The last step to do is clean everything up. One sketch along the grid with grid snapping turned on from the side. There we are. Select this, clean up, select this, clean up. And then we can select all the individual edges and give this a tiny rounding. All at the same time. And ladies and gentlemen, and that is the way how you create this beautifully modeled, nice to look at, and actually quite comfortable to sit on plastic chair ready for injection molding.